Growing up in the Philippines, I would help my mom cook Filipino food. Years later, when I became vegan, I learned that Filipino food can also be vegan without losing its soul. I wanted to share this discovery with family, friends, and with you. Kain na! Let's eat! Ginataang Mungo Guisado is another version of Mungo Guisado or mung bean stew. I first learned about this dish when my husband and I went to Osamis City, which is in Mindanao in the southern region of the Philippines. And his family prepared this delicious spread of vegan Filipino dishes for us. And one of these dishes was the Ginataang Mungo Guisado. And lo and behold, when we went to another trip, which is in Cebu City, I realized they also serve it there. And so when we went back home here in Manila, I was just so inspired to recreate this dish. And I was very pleased and happy with the results that I wanted to share the recipe with you. I hope you make it and give it a try for yourself. Let's get to cooking. First is the gisa, which is the sautéing. Adding oil there, and I'm gonna add garlic. This is about 3 to 4 cloves of garlic, peeled, crushed, and minced. And adding the onions. It's about 3 small pieces of red onions. You can also use yellow onions. Okay, so you're basically sweating it out, the natural juices of these aromatics, and adding a little bit of salt. Then add ginger. Now some versions don't have ginger, so it's up to you. If your guests or for those who are eating this are not a fan of ginger, but you just want that slight essence, then you can just have larger sizes. That way they can easily spot it when they're eating the dish. Some versions also have tomatoes, so you can add about 2 to 3 pieces of sliced tomatoes. And here, apparently in the Philippines, eggplants cook fast. I mean, relatively faster than the ones in the US. I'm not sure why, since they both look the same to me. I'm using just 1 piece and then thinly sliced. Okay. So I keep mixing so that nothing sticks on the bottom of the pot. Okay, there you go. I'm gonna add a little bit of water. So maybe about a cup or 2. Look at that. And you want to cook this until the eggplants are nice and soft. You can even raise the heat. This is also the part where you can add the ampalaya. Now, some versions don't have ampalaya because some people are not a big fan of ampalaya, but I found a trick where you can reduce the bitterness and basically just salt ahead of time, and you can thinly slice them. So I'm putting about 1/2 cup, but the amount is totally up to you. Some versions also use add squash in there. So if you do want to add some squash, yellow squash, then this is the part where you want to add them. In fact, you may probably want to add them even before the eggplants because they have a hard texture. It lends a nice color to it and some sweetness as well. So as you can see, and as I'm describing, there are many slight variations of this recipe, and these variations go from region to region in the Philippines. And it's such a great testament to how diverse Filipino cuisine is. So from what I'm used to when I was a kid, my mom would make the Mungo Guisado without the coconut milk. So this is such a revelation for me. So at this point, we can add the mung beans already, or the mungo. And this is the choice of this is our choice of beans when it comes to Filipino cooking. We use a lot of mungo in our dishes. So this is a make ahead thing that you can do. You can prepare the mungo separately. As you can see, I did exactly that, using a separate pot, adding a little bit more of the salt, just 2 big pinches. I add just a little bit of water, maybe another cup. Now, really, it's up to you if you want your ginataang munggo gisado to be thick or do you want it to be soupy. So I just want something in the middle. At this point, we can also now add fried tofu. Now this is my choice of something fried in there. You can also add fried yuba. There are also other alternative, meat-free alternatives out there where maybe you can use vegan shrimp or whatever that you feel, or even mushrooms. But I think this is closest to the traditional version, which is if you just add fried tofu. Now let's add the malunggay. The last ingredient we'll put in is the coconut milk. If it's freshly pressed coconut milk and you put it in the beginning part, they might form curds. So I'm adding it last. But if you are going to use coconut milk in can, then you don't have that problem. Although it's not going to be as flavorful. This is about 12 ounces to 15 ounces. If you're using can, that means it's 1 can of coconut milk. You can also use coconut cream. In fact, this is what, in Tagalog, we call it kakangata. And this is what I am adding right now, kakangata. So I'm gonna taste it if it needs anything. If it needs to be more salty, savory, or if it's good enough, or if it's really delicious. Okay, I'm gonna use this spoon. Wow. I love the subtle flavors of the ginger and of the ampalaya. It lends that nice earthy flavor without overpowering the soup. And because there's coconut milk, I'm gonna turn off the heat here. Because there's coconut milk, it adds that nice richness, and it's a nice balance of all these flavors plus the earthy flavor of the malunggay. Now, I think because we're going to serve this with rice, you kind of want it more savory than preferred by itself. I always say that with my savory stews. So I'm gonna add just a few more pinches of salt. But if you are not going to eat this with rice, then you don't have to do this part. Now ready to serve. Okay, so this is the Ginataang Mungo Guisado, which is another style of Mungo Guisado or mung bean stew with coconut milk. And if you want to enjoy this Filipino style, then of course you're gonna serve this with a side of rice. And this is such a great learning experience for me, something that I have learned from my family and friends in Visayas and Mindanao. Maraming pong salamat. And for the full recipe, just go on astigvegan.com and you can also see other vegan Filipino recipes there. But if you have any questions or if you just want to reach out to me, I'm also on social media. I'm on Facebook and Instagram, and I would love to hear from you. So thank you so much once again for watching. My name is RG at Astig Vegan, letting you know that Filipino food can be vegan, healthy, and delicious without losing its soul. Kain na! Let's eat!